and the night. Today has been your source of news on China and the world from a different perspective, with unrivaled analysis, expert opinion, and panel discussions on all the latest breaking news, the top business stories of the day, and in-depth sports coverage and education matters. Today, your unique window on the world, direct from the heart of China. Weekdays on newsplusradio.cn.
What's happening in China? What's happening in the world? People in the know. The in-depth current affairs show with insights on the news that shapes China and the world. People in the know helps you to know the world better.
Frontline. Your insight into China's leading edge in technology. All the latest developments in tech for your world, brought to you by the show that integrates into everything.
Want to know what's going on in China? Want to know more about the Chinese way of life and what the Chinese people are passionate about? Want to travel throughout this fascinating country and learn about its amazing history and culture? Helping you discover a true taste of China and feel the pulse of the Chinese nation.
Studio Plus, a piece of news, culture, and views. All right, let's go. Tune in to meet some fascinating people. Share their stories.
China is one of the great creative countries.
Old Beijing style.
Chinese music.
Studio Plus. Something fresh, then adding your mushroom. Something fun. Something more. Studio Plus. Studio Plus.
Echoes from ancient times with the tempo of the modern age. In the spotlight, more choice from the vast landscape of authentic Chinese culture. In the spotlight, the best of China's music and culture from north, south, east, and west. In the spotlight.
Examining the events that impact and shape China and the rest of the world. This is the Beijing Hour, 1 hour of news and information brought to you by China Radio International.
All James with you on this Tuesday morning. Still to come here on the Beijing Hour in Business. Internet Plus being given some new financial support. Sports. China in search of its first victory at the East Asian Cup football tournament. And in entertainment, schedule being released for a forthcoming music festival here in Beijing. 32 minutes past the hour. An update on your headline news in Xinjiang.
Thank you, Paul. And overseas journalists are being invited to cover events commemorating the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II in Beijing next month. A series of events are going to take place in Beijing on September 2nd and the 3rd to mark the occasion. Overseas journalists hoping to cover will have to register beforehand. Foreign militaries have also been invited to participate in a massive parade set to be held in Beijing on September 3rd. 2 people are dead and 7 others missing after being swept away in flooding in Shanxi. The 9 people were dining at a village in the Qingling Mountains when it was hit by flooding late yesterday afternoon. Heavy rains have been battering the region over the past 24 hours. China's civil aviation authorities have announced they are banning the Shenzhen airport from adding any additional flights or routes this year. This comes following an investigation which has determined the airport hasn't been doing enough to handle these flight delays. The same investigation also Shenzhen Airlines and China United Airlines for poor management. The local government in Nanjing has issued new rules on child protection. Parents in that city could face criminal charges if they leave any child under 6-year-old or those with physical disabilities on their own. The new regulations also forbid parents from using long-term hunger as punishment. Offenders may have their children taken away from them. Last month, at least 8 cases were reported in the city of children either dying or suffering injuries after being left alone by their parents or school staff in locked cars in Nanjing. 2 of the parents involved in the cases have faced charges. The UK's Independent Police Complaints Commission has announced it's going to investigate allegations that detectives failed to pursue a complaint of child sexual abuse made against former Conservative Prime Minister Edward Heath in the 1990s. It's looking into allegations that local police in Wiltshire in southwest England did not pursue charges connected to allegations Edward Heath may have been involved in abuses connected to children. Details of the alleged abuse or who has made the complaints have not been made public. Heath was Prime Minister between 1970 and 1974. He died in 2005 at the age of 89.
All right, thank you very much, Xinjiang. It's 35 minutes past the hour. It's time to check in with what's happening on the business front on this Tuesday morning. First and foremost, though, a check on the closing numbers in both Europe, North America, and here in China. Joining me on the desk as always.
Thank you, Paul. U.S. stocks extended losses amid generally downbeat economic data on Monday as plunging oil prices hit Wall Street sentiment. The U.S. Commerce Department is reporting consumers' personal income continues rising while spending growth slowed in June. Meanwhile, the July Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index has come in at 54.7, down from the 53.1 seen in June. Oil prices also plummeted over 4% on the day after it was announced production from OPEC hit a record high in July. In response, the overall energy sector slumped around 2%. At the close, the Dow Jones shed 0.5%. The S&P 500 trimmed 0.3%. The Nasdaq dipped about 0.2%. Over in Europe, stocks there mostly climbed as improving earnings and economic indicators outweighed losses in Greek shares, which resumed trading after a 5-week suspension. Greece's main market in Athens was down as much as 23% in early trading before reversing part of the losses to end 16% lower. At the closing bell, the UK's FTSE 100 went down a fraction of a percent. Germany's DAX edged up 1.2%. France's CAC 40 rose nearly 1.5%. Finally, a recap on the stock's performance here in China. Shares turned south once again on Monday following last week's declines as investors continue to be concerned about wide swings in the market and mounting economic headwinds. The Shanghai Composite Index shed 1.1%. The smaller Shenzhen Component Index lost 1.7%.
All right, thank you very much, Lo Wen. Well, China's securities regulator has frozen one of U.S. hedge fund Citadel LLC's accounts, using it of short-selling A shares on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. This comes after the China Securities Regulatory Commission announced that it would be keeping a closer eye on programmed electronic trading by institutional investment firms. Exchanges in both Shanghai and Shenzhen have already restricted 38 accounts in connection with this. Regulators say some individuals or organizations have been maliciously driving up or suppressing share prices of weighted stocks such as PetroChina and Sinopec. Program trading, of course, usually focuses on a basket of stocks with buy and sell orders executed by a computer program based on predetermined conditions. For more on the CSRC's move when it comes to program trading, we're joined on the line now by Gao Sheng, analyst with Guangdong Futures. Gao Sheng, thank you very much for taking the time with us. I'm really actually quite interested to talk with you about this because you have very first-hand experience. We're talking about what's going on with this, change by the CSRC. First and foremost, are regulators doing this, and how much of an effect is it having when it comes to the actual trading that's taking place in the A-share market right now?
Programmed trading utilizes high speed and swift treatment available at the computer and catches the instant change of the price in securities markets. So once the buy signal or the sell signal comes up, there will be a lot of orders automatically placed without humans trading order. So from the basic idea of program trading, we know that program trading can have the market rise or fall more rapidly and increase the market volatility. And in America, about 70% of all the trading is placed by program trading. But in Asia, like in China, it accounts for no more than 30% of all the trading. But in recent years, it's developed very fast, and it seems like a trend in China because it has many advantages. For example, it's more efficiency and it can overcome humans' emotions during trading. But we can see from last 2 months China stock market movements that the volatility volatility now has increased a lot compared with before. So we have seen a lot of big intraday fluctuations during the last 2 months. So it is not good for the stability of the market. So to some extent, the program trading is kind of blamed for this. So that is why the CSRC's latest move focuses on the program trading.
Right, but for the actual traders themselves, I mean, what impact is it having? I mean, when they say that they're going to be, quote, keeping a closer eye on it, have they given institutions any new rules? I mean, are they changing the way in which trading is being done electronically and programmed at this point?
Yeah, so far we can see from the restricted accounts that most of these accounts are hedge fund projects. And just these big hedge funds, no matter it is overseas hedge funds or the domestic hedge funds, they use a very large scale of program trading. And as these accounts will be banned for 3 months, so maybe some of them will be forced to change their trading strategy, and even some of these projects will have to choose liquidation in advance.
So do we expect that this, I guess I want to call it that, by the CSRC, is this going to be a short-term thing to just try and stabilize the markets and deal with some of the volatility that we've seen over the past few weeks, or do we expect that these policies will remain in effect over the longer term here in China?
I think maybe it is a consistent process for the market, but for Chinese regulators, it is very difficult to regulate the program trading. It is like a dilemma because on one side, the program trading is like it itself can provide a lot of liquidity for the market. It can help facilitate the trading volume, but on the other side, and the